Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to show you guys how to replace a interior shifter accessory light on a 2000 through 2005 Bonneville. This is particular one's a 2003. However, this will work on anything between 2000 and 2005. It's a common issue where this light bulb inside of here will burn out along with many other light bulbs in Pontiacs. So you can probably, and you probably should, replace it with a LED. But I'm going to put an incandescent in there just because that's all I was able to find. It's bulb number 37, which I'll show you in a second. So first of all, I'm just going to show you guys how to take apart the interior to get to this. Please do keep in mind this is a 16-year-old car, and all these Bonnevilles at this point are pretty old, so do be careful when you're taking this apart. This is GM plastic. It does not age well. It will break easily, so just be very careful and cautious with that. I've broken many of these bezels before, and it's not fun. Now, a shift light in a Pontiac Bonneville is basically a light right here that'll display what gear you're in and stuff like that. It's very common that the light will burn out in there and you won't be able to see what gear you're going into. It's not really an important thing, but it's still a good thing to have working. And what you'll need, only tool you need, you might need a flat blade screwdriver, you might not. You also just need number 37 bulb. They're very small. They only sell them in packs of 2, so you'll have an extra for the next time it burns out. Because it will burn out unless you replace it with an LED, but I couldn't find an LED for it. So the first thing we're going to start doing is taking off this bezel right here. It goes around the radio and the gauges all the way to over here, because we need that to get this off and then eventually this so we can replace this light bulb. So in order to first get this bezel off, what you're going to have to do to begin with is take your flathead screwdriver, and if you look up in there, there's these 2 little pins. On this one of them's missing, but you'll have 2, one over here, one over there. That one's missing though on mine. You'll just have to basically take the screwdriver, push in the middle. It'll kind of click, and then once you push it in, should just come right out. Yeah, it'll just come straight out. Well, or maybe it will, maybe it won't, we'll see. There you go. See, it's just one of these little rivets. It's reusable, just plastic GM crap. And then what you're going to do is start pulling back on this trim. So first you'll start around the bottom over here. It does have a lot of plastic GM clips. You start kind of pulling back on all of it. Just be careful and be gentle with it, not to break any clips. Your ignition thing will pop out. Just put it in the cup holder or something to keep it safe. And on this side, if you have the SSEI trim, then you probably have a heads-up display control here. Any other trims won't have this. It just have this little pocket here. This is an SLE trim, so it doesn't have the heads-up display. So in that case, you can just pull this pocket out, and you kind of use that as a grab handle to pull this side out. If you do have the heads-up display, you'll kind of have to finagle your way around this, which can be a little bit of a pain. You might have to take off this bottom hush panel. Because this one doesn't have it, I can just stick my hand in there and pull it all back. And then you'll also want to stick your steering column in the farthest down position that it'll go. So now, once you've released all the clips, this will just come straight off like this. You're also going to want to just hold down the steering column as far down as it'll go. And there'll also be a little connector right here behind this heads-up display. You'll just push the pin in and pull it out. And then you can just set this whole thing. Just be very careful with it. It is plastic after all, and it also is GM plastic. You can just take that, throw it in the back seat, and save it for later. So once you've taken that bit off, this probably won't be here. This is just because this car has some aftermarket remote start stuff put in it. But you'll have access to your radio and also your climate controls, so if you need to get at those, you can go ahead and do that now. But since we're heading for this shifter, you'll just have to pull these 2 little clips right here. There's no screw, so don't worry about that. there's these two little plastic tabs you push down on each side, and once you get that out, it'll all just sort of come out like that. And then you'll just have to unplug the harnesses for your heated seat control and all that. And there's a lot of dust here. Alright, so once you've got that out, just set these harnesses aside. It's okay if you lose them inside there, they won't go far. Just make sure you don't have any change left in your ashtray. I'm just going to take this ashtray out. And no ashes, obviously this one doesn't have any, but you don't want to spill ashes all over your interior because that would not be fun. So next we're going to try and take the shift knob off. So basically you just have to pull down on this little leather jacket right here, and then you can find your flat-headed screwdriver wherever you set it. And there's a little clip on the back right here. You just want to get your screwdriver behind there and just pry it back. It's basically just a little U-clip. You might need two hands for it if you are having a hard time like I am. Alright, so once you play with that a little bit, you'll pull that little pin out, and then after that the whole shift knob will just come right off like that. And then you can just pull up on this. A lot of dust will come out of everywhere because this car's disgusting. And then you can just kind of lift up on that. Woo! Yeah, this car was smoked in the past. It doesn't smell like it anymore, but you can tell it was. There's all tons of ashes down there. Pretty gross, but you know, it's alright. So now you'll have access to this little bit right here. And you might need two hands for this. But what you're basically doing, there's two clips here. There's one right there. And there's another right here. Might give you some trouble, so you'll have to kind of play around with it a little bit. So I've went ahead and put the camera on a tripod so I can have two hands for this. It might take a while, for me at least. But this one will just, the top one up here will just pull right out, like that. And you're going to also want to be careful not to break it. GM plastic tabs are very stubborn, but once you get them out, then you shouldn't have too much trouble once you get that back one out. Alright, so after some cussing and screaming, I got it off. Turns out this bit actually comes off. You just have to pull on it, really, and just not break it. So basically, when I go to turn the car lights on, you'll see it's not coming on. So this just comes out, actually. So then you can just pull the bulb out, the old one. It'll just pull straight out. You can see it's burned out. It's a little tiny bulb. Stick that in somewhere, and then I'm just going to grab the new bulbs and just get one. Be careful not to drop these. They're very tiny, so if you drop one, good luck finding it. If you're a klutz like me, then you probably will drop one. But just try not to. Once you have the new bulb, it should just slide right in for you. There we go. I guess you guys will want a better look at that, so I'm just going to take the camera off. Right in there, as you can see. It just pushes straight in. Whoops. And now when I turn the lights on, see, it lights up. So that's good. So now, basically, you just get to go through the fun of reassembling everything. That's the best part, no? So that'll go right there. Then you'll just want to grab your shifter thing. And that should just snap right back into place. In fact, now that I know that this comes off, now that I know that this comes off, I'm going to stick it into the shifter ahead of time. And then just snap it back in. Alright, so that's snapped back in. Now just reminding you to be very careful with this. It will break easily. Now what makes it the most difficult is actually a tab right there. I'm actually just going to leave it out. I don't know if it needs to be in or not, but we'll figure out, I guess. We'll find out, I guess. Alright, I went ahead and cleaned this off because it was all cruddy and crap. because auction cars are very dirty, I guess. So you'll just want to kind of thread this through here, and you can kind of turn it right there a little bit, maybe, possibly, maybe not, I guess. Just kind of work it back on. This rubber, remember this rubber piece is flexible, so you kind of move it around to fit the shifter on. And make sure you tuck this leather in here for the edge of this, so you don't have like loose frayed crap sticking out everywhere. And then it should all just snap right down. Alright, so once this main center console's back in, you want to go ahead and grab your cigarette lighter and heated seat traction control and stuff, and then you'll just hook up all the harnesses. Should be pretty straightforward. They all fit pretty much one way. The blue one is traction control, and then that goes in there. And this will all just go back, and I believe it'll snap back into place just like that. Should at least. Let's see. There's a way you gotta get it in there so it lines up with the tabs. There we go. Now she's in there. Also, don't forget to put your shifter back on. It'll only go on one way, so don't worry about making it go on wrong. And then you just kind of use your hand to push the clip back in. That should be back on there. You can pull this little leather coat back up, cover it up nice and tight. You can go ahead and put your ashtray back in. Close that up, and then you just gotta grab your big old bezel. I'm gonna aim this back up a little bit. You just got this big old bezel right here. You just put it in place. Be very careful with those plastic clips. They will scratch the radio face and the climate control face if you're not careful. They do like to scratch a little bit. And then I'll just put the console all the way down so you can fit that over the faceplate right here. Don't forget to plug in your heads-up display, or not your heads-up display, your information center controls. I forgot to do that one time, and the person was very angry. They're like, "Why isn't this working?" And I was like, "Oh crap, forgot." So we'll just, it all should just snap right back into place. It's all just plastic clips. Clip here, clip right there. Give it a few good whacks. Don't forget to put in your ignition lock, or your lock cylinder, little circle thing. That'll just go right there. It only goes in one way. And then put this little rivet back in. Like I said, mine's missing one of them, so it goes in pretty easily. And actually, for these, you have to push the push it out, like until it sticks out like that. I don't even know if you can see that. And then put it in, and then you push the middle in afterwards. These rivets are one of GM's favorite things to use on their interiors. They're in basically everything. And now that's in. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Now you got a working light over here. Don't know if the camera even picks up that it's working, but that's alright. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's a very common failure point on these Bonnevilles, is this just stops working. I do highly recommend you replace it with an LED. I couldn't find an LED that would fit, so I went ahead and stuck an incandescent. I got a pack of 2 though, so next time it goes I'll have a bulb for it. But this should last you a little while. These like to burn out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helped you. If it did, leave a like. If it didn't, leave a dislike. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.